Hi, this is Michael, and this is my review of the Samsung HMX-H205 Full HD Memory Cam. Here's the box that it comes in. And we'll open it up. Here we have the owner's information, quick start guide, and a CD that has basically just the user's manual on there. And then the camera comes with the AC adapter. This is the standard sized battery. This is your composite video cable and a USB cable. And on the other side is the camcorder itself. If you've never handled one of these in a store, you'll be quite surprised, I think, at how light and small it really is. I mean, literally fits in the palm of your hand. It's smaller than a soda can. Now the LCD flips out like this. Still has the protective film on it. This is the slot where your AV, this is where the composite cable would plug in. This is the mini HDMI cable, which is not provided with the camera, so you'll need to get one of those. A mini HDMI to HDMI to hook up to your flat screen. And then this is the USB port. On the other side of the camera is where the SD card slot is. Now the H205 comes with 32 gigabytes of memory built into the camera. The H200 comes with no internal memory. The 203 has 8 gigabytes and the 204 has 16 gigabytes. Well, this is the standard sized battery. I've also got the higher capacity battery, which essentially doubles your battery life. So let's put the battery in there. When you first turn on the camcorder, you're going to get the setup screen automatically. It's going to ask you for your geographical location here, so you just use the arrows to go to the city that's closest to your location. In my case, that'll be New York. And some reason here I'm blind. There we go. New York, Miami, Washington, and Montreal, and Atlanta. You're all going to be on the same screen here. You push OK. And the next thing that pops up is the date. So we're going to set that to the current date, which is not always easy using the touchscreen, because the touchscreen is not quite as responsive as others that I've used. And to complicate the matter, I've still got the plastic protection on it. So we'll set it to the date, which is the 13th. And we'll set the time, which is basically we're going to leave it right where it is, 12, and we'll change it to PM. Click OK. Now the warning here says check the lens cover. So when you turn the camera on, if you have not opened the lens cover, you will get that warning. And this is a manual operated lens cover. So there's a little switch on the side here that you flick, and that opens the lens cover. Now I have to tell you that the first camera that I bought, the Samsung H205, was defective, and I would get that lens cover error. I would open the lens cover, but the screen would be black except for the text information and the icons. But as far as the image from the camera itself, nothing. It was black. And even if I flicked this several times, that problem persisted. So I returned it to Amazon and I got a second camera. The second camera had many fibers on the inside of the lens assembly. And I've actually posted photos of those on the Amazon product page for the H200. It was really, I've never seen anything quite like it. Very poor quality control, obviously, in the factory to let something like that get out the door. So I returned that camera, and the camera we're working on today is the third and hopefully the final camera. Overall, the camera is really easy to operate. Ergonomically, however, it's kind of a disaster. I mean, I've got a fairly large hand, but it is very difficult to operate the controls. This is the photo button over here that my finger's tapping. This is the zoom control. It's a variable zoom. This is the mode button back here. This is the button that switches you from the recording mode, whether it be video or photo, to the playback mode. And then here's a power button on the back, on off. Also on the screen itself, on the left edge of the screen, there's a menu button at the top. Then there's a zoom on the side of the lens here, on the side of the LCD screen, and then this is the record button on the bottom corner. You can start and end recording by pushing that button or this button. The zoom on the top, as I mentioned, is a variable, and that's just full speed zoom right there. I think you can see that. Now, if you just use a very soft touch, very gently nudge it, it will do a slow zoom. But you've got such a small amount of travel for this button that it's really hard to actually accomplish a slow zoom. It just seems to want to go to fast zoom no matter what you do. Now, the zoom control on the LCD screen actually gives you a slower zoom. It is not a variable speed zoom. It does give you a slower zoom, however. So in many cases, you may prefer to use that. Now, as you could hear that beeping sound, when you're using the zoom, you got to be very careful that you don't accidentally also push the record button, or you're going to accidentally stop your recording. So that's a little bit of a trouble area there you need to be aware of. Some of the menu options that we have what is called the iScene mode. And in the iScene mode, you've got several preset conditions that you can choose for the type of shooting that you're doing. You've got normal, you've got recording people or objects in motion, you've got recording skin color naturally, you've got when strong light is striking the object, then you've got beach or snow, and this is the food setting, which will represent the color of the food more colorfully, sort of enhanced, more saturated. Then this is for candlelight mode. And finally, we have just the indoor setting with artificial light. Speaking of indoor settings, there is no capability to add on the camera itself any sort of additional lighting. And the low light performance, and I'm talking very low light, is not very good with this or any camcorder in this price range, quite frankly. If you've got a moderate amount of lights on in the room, you'll be able to get a recording, but it may be a little grainier than you'd like. The microphone, which is stereo, is located at the front of the camera, and it works pretty well. You are going to get wind noise, and again, there is no capability for using an external mic, nor is there a headphone jack. Wind noise is going to be prevalent on any camcorder in this price range, and unless you're able to use an external mic and then use the proper shields or whatever to minimize wind noise. You are definitely going to get wind noise. The camera goes into standby mode when you close the lid, so to speak, and when you open the LCD screen, it will automatically turn the camera on or take it out of the sort of the sleep mode, I guess you could say. But that is configurable in the menu, and if you prefer to just have the camera not go into a sort of a low power mode, it will completely shut down when you close the LCD. There is also a power button located on the inside of the camera that you can turn the camera off using that button. This button here is the optical image stabilization, and that is not something that is engageable when you are using the iView mode, Smart Auto. So if you try to engage OIS when Smart Auto is enabled, you have to turn it off first. This button removes all the extraneous display information on the screen. And finally, this is if you have a strongly backlit subject, like if someone is standing in front of a bright window and it's very bright outside, you would push this button to make sure that they're not just a black blob in front of a bright window.